As a sport, boxing is not everybody's cup of tea. In the developed world, it's seen as brutal, dangerous, and often politically incorrect. But in Ghana, in an enclave in the heart of the capital, Accra, boxing is quite literally a way of life. The enclave is called Bukuom, and most of those who live there are members of the Bukuom Tribe. For them, a long cultural tradition of boxing can lead to a road out of the slums and onto the professional circuits. Others have dreams of Olympic glory. David McIlwaine has travelled to Ghana for tonight's feature and discovered it's a long, hard journey from Bukuom to Sydney.
Better to smile, because in Bukuom there's no running from a fight. Once the line is drawn, even boys must stand their ground in the tough heart of Accra, Ghana's capital. A crowd grows quickly and won't accept a backward step. But these 11-year-olds are willing and fight in whatever gloves they can get. Boxing is in their blood and social standing is at stake. The crowd's excitement breeds pressure. Each boxer has an extended camp of supporters riding on every punch, itching to throw a few of their own. Everyone immersed in the action is from the Bukuom Tribe. Its people live throughout Accra and the city's surrounds, but only in the small enclave of Bukuom is boxing a way of life central to their identity. As a boy, a scratched-out ring gave ETA Abbey his first experience of the Bukuom boxing phenomenon. Now he's an expert in Ga culture.
The other tribes, the other ethnic groups, are afraid to fight to see blood oozing. But we take delight in fighting. And if you feel like boxing, all you have to do is to clench your fists, roll it in the air, put it on your head, and shout "do-do-do-do-do." If anybody wants to fight you, or he feels he can fight you, he will also respond "OIA," then you start fighting.
Like 95% of Ghana's boxing squad, 19-year-old Olympian Alfred Teti first proved himself in Bukuom. And he finds no mystery in the fact that class fighters and world champions like Azuma Nelson had their beginnings on his town's poor streets. It has always been that way.
Our forefathers, they are there already to go. Their ghost is there. So when you started boxing from there, they follow you. When you're going to fight, they all follow you to going to fight. You know? They all follow you to going to fight. So they give you more strength to fight.
ETA Abbey adds that Bukuom's boxing spirit has just as much to do with the pride of the living and the lessons they teach their children.
You see, because you shouldn't go home and tell the parents that I was beaten by this and so forth. It's a shame. So you have to fight. And that's how we have been trained. We are trained to defend ourselves. So even in the ring, it's a shame to be beaten and go back.
Alfred Teti knows that. He had his first fight on the streets at 11. He won and kept on winning. Keen to become someone through boxing, he began to train seriously after his third victory. Up at 4:30 each morning, he put in 2 hours before school. By the end of lessons at midday, he was cutting hair in his brother's barber shop. His wages paid for a coach who sharpened his street skills in a backyard gym. After training, Alfred was back for another stint working the clippers until he went to bed at about 9. But 5 years of hard work paid off. In 1996, all eyes were on Alfred Teti as the 16-year-old won 3 fights in Atlanta. He says the Olympic judges robbed him of a medal chance, but with Sydney on the horizon, he hasn't lowered his sights.
Yeah, if I take Olympic gold, I think I'll feel so happy. So now I want to prove myself to these Olympian Games. I have to take gold for Ghana.
Each weekday, Ghana's best amateur boxers join each other at Accra Stadium for Olympic squad training. Like Alfred, almost all call Bukuom home, and their bond is obvious. But from a squad of 30, only a few will see Sydney in 2000. Competition for an Olympic spot is fierce. Athletes are expensive to send overseas, and Ghana's whole 1998 Commonwealth Games team in Kuala Lumpur numbered only 31. A Cuban, Miguel Perez Castellanos, came to Western Africa in 1995 to coach Ghana's boxing team. He's learnt the Bukuom boys' language and barks instructions in a broken mixture of Ga and English, all the while watching for the trademarks of a medal winner. Miguel knows his fighters love boxing. They rip into each other, and some would rather throw punches than worry about headgear or mouth guards. They're all talented and hungry for success. 1 gold and 3 bronze medals in 1998 at Kuala Lumpur ranked the team 4th in the Commonwealth. Apart from their Bukuom background, the boxers have something else in common. They're all poor. Each trains morning and night, but few have any regular income. Miguel is never sure whether they've got enough money to eat properly or how long he can hold them in the amateur ranks. The lure of the professional circuit and actually getting paid to fight is strong. Few of the boxers would easily dismiss the notion of fighting for a purse, no matter how good their prospects of an Olympic medal. And that's a real problem. Preparation of amateur fighters in developed countries may run from 4 to 6 years. Miguel says he can only count on 12 months of training with any of his boxers. In that way, Alfred Teddy is an exception. He already has Olympic experience, and at 19, he's still young enough to build a long professional career. But for all Ghana's amateur boxers, Olympic success is seen as the first step towards making a living in the ring. What's more, each of them want to add to the legend of Bukuom boxing. And according to the Olympic Committee, that's an advantage that Ghana's representatives will have over the rest of the world in Sydney 2000.
When they know they can make it, that is their major motivation. Learning from the past heroes, the Azumas, the Aikwatis, the others who have ever come from those areas. You see, these people get just one single motivation. Yes, our man who comes from our midst has made it. We can also make it.
David McIlwaine with that report from Ghana. Nice piece.